let's move to the most important position. I feel there's a lot of rumors on NFL QBs this weekend, starting with... Well, I wrote them down. I was on Bleacher Report, and there was a lot. Let's go. Jameis Winston, while Saints have interest, is intrigued by free agency.
Jameis is last year nobody wanted him, and I think people realized this year he was he's pretty good. Me and you agreed that he was pretty good. Yeah, he had 30 interceptions, but a lot of good quarterbacks had that.
Only 7 other quarterbacks have thrown for more yards in a season than him, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. That's all I'm saying, or they're gonna be.
And people act like it was not an anomaly amount. He throws on the higher end more than the lower end of interceptions for the average with quarterbacks before last year or 2 years ago now. But people act like that's the standard for him. He throws 20 to 30 interceptions every year.
I think a year under Drew Brees is really gonna do a lot for him.
Drew Brees is one of the most intelligent quarterbacks in the NFL the last 10 years, 20 years.
I really want him to go to the Patriots and then Bill Belichick get to the Super Bowl with Jameis Winston.
I think he would love Jameis because Jameis is a really hard fucking worker, and that's what the Patriots love. They want you to come to work and shit. But Jameis, he does to look a little tipsy and shit.
No, he said he quit alcohol.
He did?
Yeah, he said he quit it after that night in Arizona.
I wasn't even talking about that. We all know because he said it before. But... all right, who's next on the list?
Jimmy G likely to stay.
I feel like he's one. I feel so bad for him. Why?
He's a fucking quarterback in the NFL making $25 million. What's the worst case scenario? He gets traded to fucking Detroit
and loses all the money, the rest of the money on his contract after next year because he's on a bad team. Oh man,
he's already made fucking $70 million in his career.
I understand, but the last
and he's
two
the
off
most handsome
seasons,
guy in sports.
The last two off Joe Flacco was the last.
No, Jimmy G is something.
Did you not see Did we not talk about that poll?
Yeah, but Jimmy G wasn't in the league yet.
He was. Joe Handsome didn't become handsome until he was fucking...
Well, Jimmy G wasn't...
That poll was 2016.
He wasn't Jimmy GQ yet, though.
Yes, he was. He was that in Eastern Illinois to a degree.
Yeah, but nobody who's paying attention to Eastern Illinois.
But...
there's probably a handsome-ass guy somewhere in our city that nobody knows about. He might be the most handsome guy in the southeastern Florida. Or southeastern United States.
Think about Jimmy G. Last 2 off seasons, he's been talked about getting moved. 2 years ago, he brought his team to the Super Bowl and played good throughout the year and had a bad second half.
A great defense and a great running game. Yeah,
I understand, but he played good.
And good coach.
You can't say, it could have been better. He played good. He was good. And then last year, he wasn't great, but the team was very injured, not good around him. And he was injured himself, for what, most of the season? He was injured, and then the year he wasn't injured, he was good, and we're trying to get rid of him. Or they're trying to get rid of him.
He's just okay. I mean...
like I said last week, an average to an above-average quarterback, which he is still pretty hard to find. People like to trick themselves into thinking their quarterback is in that level.
But when you got the team around him that's good enough...
He almost did it.
I understand, but you think you can upgrade, which they think he's likely to stay now, so which means anybody that thought that was an upgrade, it's probably not going to happen.
There's nobody left that's available that's a clear upgrade over Jimmy G.
Let's see, you got Kirk Cousins.
No.
Derek Carr.
That's lateral. Maybe Derek Carr's a little better, but
Carson Wentz.
No.
And Jameis Winston. For sure.
No, better. That's lateral. Those are all lateral moves. It's stupid.
I think I'd have Carr over. Nah.
It's close.
They both have games where they show up, and both were they go 13 for 19 for 112 yards, and it's the fourth quarter already.
Yeah. They both also had the same thing. Every offseason, the fans and the fucking people in the media are trying to trade Derek Carr. Same thing with Jimmy G the last 2 off seasons. Everybody's been trying to trade him but the Niners. But it seems like they're interested in upgrading, which is not a problem. But
apparently the Raiders want a haul for Derek Carr, and
I think
more likely of an extension, if anything.
I think he's I don't know if he's worth a haul, like what we saw the fucking Stafford got, which he, in my opinion, wasn't worth that. Especially when you're getting Goff,
age and his injuries,
and especially when you're getting Goff in return too.
Goff is okay though,
but he is worth. Goff.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a backup in 2 years.
I wouldn't be shocked because maybe the Lions, he sucks with the Lions because the Lions suck. And then he goes to a team and has a Ryan Tannehill kind of thing. Because Ryan Tannehill, I mean, I was going to say, he's not as good as his numbers. But, the last 2 years, he's been nearly elite, if not elite.
Dude, he had like 60 touchdowns in like 20 games for the
Yeah, I
Titans.
can't shit on Tannehill. Even though I've always defended him, where I was like, he's actually solid. He's pretty good when he was in Miami. I was like, it's just Miami sucks.
I feel like everyone started turning on Ryan Tannehill just because of Miko Grimes. Because she talked so
Oh
much
my
shit
God.
about him, and everyone was like, "No, he's not bad."
Didn't she
I
talk
mean-
shit about Jameis too?
No, she was cool. She was cool in Tampa.
Who was talking shit about James? Oh, Deshaun Jackson.
Well, he wasn't. Talking
He didn't
shit,
want him,
but
though.
I've heard like some stuff from podcasts I listen to that are close to the Bucks. Like there's stories that they can't release right now that would paint and they kind of like hint that it's Deshaun Jackson. Like he did some shady shit for like Jameis behind his back, and
I just
talk bad about him.
Oh my God. Yeah, that when she was talking, when Brent Grimes' wife was talking shit about his or her husband's quarterback when he was on the team. Like that, yeah, that's gonna seem like everybody was like, oh yeah, fuck Ryan Tannehill. Like everybody kind of agreed with her. I'm like, who the hell is she to talk shit about him? Especially when that's her, like, that's gonna affect your husband's work life, bro. You just talked shit about one of the main guys he works with.
I liked Brent Grimes until his last year, because his last year in Tampa,
Bad.
It was bad, but he was clearly our best corner.
But they were all
our
bad.
coaching staff went up to him and was like, "Hey, dude, can you start covering the number ones every play?" He's like, "No, I'm not paid enough to do that."
He said that?
Yeah, like what kind of pussy shit is that?
That's whack, bro.
That is some pussy shit.
Like, come on, bro.
I could be playing for free. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I would want that.
I mean, I understand you want to get paid, or you feel like you're not getting paid enough, but that's kind of a pride hit. If I was saying, like, corners, you have to play on pride because you get beat so often. You have to get it out of your head and think you're the best. It's like quarterbacks. Like, you're gonna fuck up a bit, but you got to think like, I'm good, I can do this, or I'm the best. That's why all those positions do that, because you make mistakes, and you have to think you're better than that.
I feel this offseason, though, is going to be a return of the 2015 first and second picks of the draft. Jameis, because Jameis is going to get a job somewhere. If at the Saints, not somewhere else.
Mariota sucks.
There's a lot of people that were shaking or quaking in their boots to get Marcus Mariota after the quarters 1 through 3 on that Monday night game versus
Oh
the
my
Chargers.
God, bro. Did we not watch his last 2 years in Tennessee?
I think everyone turned the game off because it was Raiders versus Chargers. It was late on a Monday night, and they didn't see the fourth quarter interception he threw that blew the game.
But are we not gonna like act like 2 years ago when he got benched? He was playing like hot garbage with the Titans, like he was like getting 5 yards an attempt or some shit, and had like 6 touchdowns in 5 games. And Tannehill comes in and he played in an MVP level. We're not gonna act like that didn't happen a year and a half ago.
Short memories of quarterbacks. A year ago, Jameis was like ostracized from the league almost, and now he's the talk of the town.
I think these
Not talk of
teams,
the town, but he's talked about.
I think these teams are trying to find their own Tannehill, and I think they're like, oh, Mariota, maybe he can do it. Like the only one I can see doing it was Jameis, for guys that were benched or were backups.
Dude, Josh Rosen is still in the league somehow.
Yeah, but I mean,
short memory.
No, well, he's like practice squad.
It's in the league.
Barely. Well, I mean, like, that's what I just feel like this Mariota thing is people are trying to find their own Tannehill story. And I just don't think it's fucking going to happen. Mariota, he sucked ass his last 2 years in fucking Tennessee.
And the last quarterback I wanted to talk about was Carson Wentz. The rumor was that there was another thing I want to talk about after this, but Wentz was talking about, or they're talking about no deals imminent, and they're trying to package Zach Ertz with him.
See, like, if they get Stafford returns, like 2 firsts and a third for the combination of Ertz and Wentz, that's understandable. But when we were hearing they wanted 2 firsts for Wentz alone, what the fuck? Like, who's going to give that up?
He's a year removed, though, from 28 touchdowns, 7 picks.
I understand, but he was so bad this year.
The receivers were so
The
bad.
receivers were better this year than the year previous. It was the offensive line that sucked.
How well Jalen Hurts played. Like, he looked okay.
No, I'm not saying anything about. He was way better than Wentz, though. He was. He didn't turn the ball over nearly as much. The offense moved way more, and they were competitive with Jalen Hurts. With Carson Wentz, they would be down 21-0 in the third quarter, and maybe at the end they would get to like 10 points and make it look like it was respectable.
Yeah, well, Carson Wentz, he's shown in If we're talking about what people have done, I mean, that guy was MVP until he fucking blew out
I
his
understand.
knee.
I would give up a first and maybe like a third or fourth for just him, but 2 firsts? People are not thinking about how valuable a first round pick is. That's a lot.
Hey, look at the Rams. They're making all these playoff runs without first-round picks.
They got no Super Bowls.
Maybe Sean McVay's just ahead of the curve.
No Super Bowls.
Been to a Super Bowl. They've been there.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That's a big part of the fun, just being there.
And look what being there got Jimmy G. Everybody's talking about trading him constantly. Jared Goff, he just got traded 2 years after making a Super Bowl, and he was a Pro Bowl caliber
Rest on your
quarterback.
laurels.
Carson Wentz, I think he could be that guy again, but I don't know. And this year he was really shitty, and maybe that shot him mentally as a quarterback. Who knows? Because quarterback's a fucking mental game, like you said. You said it earlier.
I did.
Maybe like because Philly fans, dude, they will fuck you in the head so bad, bro. They'll mentally torture you.
They booed Donovan McNabb before he got a shot to play.
Dude, they threw batteries at fucking Santa, bro. What the fuck, dude?
The most wholesome dude.
They drinking piss after winning the Super Bowl? Was it horse piss? Or no, the guy ate horse shit.
No, I think it was a guy standing on top of a light post in the street and he was pissing on everyone.
Oh yeah, and then somebody else ate horse shit. That's the type of people that have messed with Carson Wentz's head the last year. So maybe he is mentally shot, bro.
He was clapping for Jalen Hurts, so maybe he's all.
I mean, he's a good guy,
he's still
but
there. He's still there.
He's got acne neck or neck knee.
I think he's got ginger beard.
No, the back of his neck, he's got gross neck. Is that what it was?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was Dave. He posted Dave Portnoy from Barstool. He posted that like on this summer. He's like, does Carson Wentz have like gross neck? And there was this picture acne on his back of his neck.
The last quarterback I want to talk about. There's a lot of talk about Dak Prescott, whether he's gonna get a deal or not with the franchise tag. Kirk Cousins came out, and if any quarterback was gonna defend franchise tags, it's definitely Kirk Cousins.
It's worked out really well for him.
And he said franchise tags can be your friend.
I think they can. You're getting paid a fuck ton of money while you're working on a deal. Like, it's not a bad deal. You don't get the security. Like, it could have been really bad for Dak if it would like turned out that was like a near career-ending injury and maybe it'll affect him. But it turns out it looks like everything's good because he was on the franchise tag and he would have been fucked after this year if they thought it was that bad. He would have missed out on a lot of money, which I can understand why people hate the franchise tag, but you're making a fuck ton of money while you're on it. And you're getting basically 2 years of being one of the highest paid players at your position.
You can't blame Dak for having trust issues, though, because the worst case scenario for franchise tags happened to Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
He was on the verge of getting a huge contract. They were going to give him 35 or whatever, 34, and he wanted a little more. And then right into the season, fucking the worst thing that happened is you get hurt with no fucking security blanket behind you. And he has a horrible injury. It's gruesome that people thought maybe he might not play at the same level again.
Didn't, was it Tony Romo or somebody say when it happened, like, oh, he just like sprained it?
Cramps.
Yeah, it might be cramps. Who said that? Was it Troy Aikman? I think it was Troy Aikman.
I was getting a haircut during that when that was going on, and I heard that happen. I just started laughing immediately, and I was shaking so much. My haircut would have got fucked. I was definitely sending the bill to Tony Romo because that was.
I think it was Aikman.
That was such an egregious. No, it was definitely Tony Romo. I think maybe it was Troy. I don't know. But whoever it was getting my bill.
But yeah, I mean, like, I just think that, I mean, it's not a horrible deal. I mean, like, yeah, you can get screwed from like Earl Thomas did when he didn't get a long-term deal and he fucking broke his leg. It seems like if you get a franchise tag and you're mad about it, you're destined to break your fucking leg. Earl Thomas and Dak Prescott, the last 2 examples of people getting franchise tagged, being fucking pissed about it, broke their fucking legs.
And Kirk Cousins and this is all that goodwill he's built up from listening to Joel Osteen tapes.
You just gotta be... You just got to be happy. You got to act happy towards, oh, I love it. And then you get 3 years totally guaranteed, one of the highest paid quarterbacks.
Drive the same van you drove in high school, and you'll make it through the other side.
And then when you're an average quarterback for your first 2 years in Minnesota, you get an extension.
Like, they went from almost making the Super Bowl to not getting anywhere close to that with you, and they're like, oh,
give me more. I want
this.
This is nice. I mean, yeah,
We feel safe with.
I like Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. I think he's like in the same boat as Jimmy G, which I think
Got a
is
little more on talent.
yeah, but I mean, like I don't know, they're like the same.
Oh, no, no. Feel for